Hey, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1082. I'm early this morning. I'm 2 minutes early, 3 minutes early. I've got to wrap up at 7:30 this morning. It is trash day, but that's not why I need to wrap up early. I need to take Biscuit to the vet this morning. She has an 8 o'clock appointment, so I need to be on the road, get Biscuit to go potty, and then we need to take her to the vet. She's been having some issues. She has an infection, and hopefully it's just this infection that's leading to some other issues. She seems to be in good spirits. She was kind of, well, I mentioned last week that she threw up on a couple of the rugs, so we had to have the rugs cleaned, which we think is some of the issues that are happening. But otherwise, she seems to be doing okay. So Biscuit has a vet appointment, so I've got to wrap it up a little early this morning. So I decided to go on a few minutes early this morning. We're going to talk about Topps. We talked about Topps Series 1 yesterday, but I want to talk a little bit more because the fallout of yesterday's presale. And we're getting FOMO over Flagship. Don't get FOMO over Flagship. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to share some of my mail. I haven't eaten a good meal in about a week, which you're probably thinking that's par for the course. Usually we sprinkle it. Usually we do salmon Sundays. My wife will make salmon on Sunday with like some asparagus and something else. It's a good, nice Sunday meal. But Sunday when I got home, my wife had made frozen pizza. I ate a lot of pizza this past weekend. So I was like, oh, more pizza. I mean, I've eaten so much pizza in the last week. When I went to the grocery store yesterday, I was in the frozen pizza. I'm like, hey, because my wife's now in Florida, flew out yesterday. And I'm like, hey, wife's gone. It's frozen pizza. And I'm like, no, that doesn't even sound good. Like beer and pizza just doesn't sound good. I need detox. I need water and salad and my coffee. So I didn't even buy. Like this might have been the first time ever I've gone to the grocery store and not bought a frozen pizza. But I did. On the other side of the frozen pizza section is the ice cream section. Now it's like -10. And it's like, I don't know. Like I was so cold yesterday. How cold were you? I was so cold yesterday. Like I was like frigid. Like I was like working at my desk, and it's colder here in the basement. I cranked the heat up. And I like had to stop. Like my hands were cold. I'm like, Jesus. I wasn't cold on Monday. My wife was cold on Monday, but I was cold yesterday because I actually left. I didn't leave the house on Monday. Didn't step foot out of the house until taking Biscuit to go potty at night. So that's why. But yesterday took my wife to the airport, and then I'm cold. And then also like once I transition from coffee to water, it's like because the coffee keeps you warm, and then you go to water and it's like cold water gets you cold. So I was cold most of the day. I didn't start warming up until like after I laid on the couch with a blanket and turned the fireplace on. Now I'm like, now I'm cooking. So ice cream didn't appeal to me until I started thinking about my sweet tooth. Like I'm going to get a sweet tooth at some point. And I'm looking, and typically my go-to lately has been like a ice cream cookie sandwich. I saw those and they just didn't appeal to me. And I was just about at the end of the aisle and I saw something, banana. And I love banana ice cream. A banana milkshake from Dairy Queen or Culver's. Love me some banana ice cream. I saw some. So I picked it up, put in my cart. Couple freezers later, I see another, and it's banana custard with like the Nilla wafers. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in heaven. So I put the other one back, got that, and I was so excited to slide into that custard last night. It was good. It was all that it was cracked up to be. It's going to be my new go-to. So I had a nice meal, topped off by a nice dessert. I was in our Metro Market. It's no longer Pick and Save, and before that, I think it was Cops. It's a Kroger-owned grocery store, and they have like already made meals, which for a guy like me that doesn't cook, my wife's out of town, these are good. It's like, okay, I need something, a good like homemade meal that I don't have to cook, and they have that. So they had prime rib and then salmon and some other stuff, but the prime rib really stuck out to me because I haven't like eaten very many. I haven't had much like meat lately. So I'm like, ooh, this prime rib looks good. And I don't know. I'm like looking like, how do I cook this? I guess I'm going to have to Google it because it's not on the package. So prime rib and mashed potatoes. It was good. I mean, it's certainly not the best prime rib I've ever had by far, but it was much, 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 much better than anything I've eaten in the last 8 days. So a good meal. Good meal. Prime rib, mashed potatoes, little dessert of banana custard. It's delicious. I got some mail yesterday too. We didn't get mail on Monday, so I got 3 cards in the mail about the Cubs. I want to talk about this because in one of my group chats, something came up about cards, and I've seen this debate. Don't do this. Don't put like I don't have scissors on me. I can't peel this up. There we go. Got it. And it's not that I like, oh, the top loader's dirty now. It's not that. It's like it's a pain in the ass to get the damn card out. I don't care about the top loader. So what was I saying? Oh, I had this and it was kind of just in passing. And I've seen this come up in various forms and fashions about what's better, the people or the cards? And to be quite honest with you, and I don't want to really go too in depth with this today. I think maybe tomorrow we can talk about this, but I do want to just, because it is top of mind, to be honest with you, the cards. Like if it weren't for the cards, I wouldn't have met the people. I've met many of you in person, and I'm glad for it. But I would still love the cards if I didn't know the people. And if the lights went out on the internet, I still have my cards, and I'm still going to enjoy the cards without the people. The hobby is very solitary. It's a solitary hobby. Baseball cards are a solitary hobby. We don't need the people, but the people are it's a great, we can share our love for baseball cards with each other. So it's kind of, it's difficult. And the person that was saying this even mentioned it's hard to type this out. And I had mentioned something previously in the chat about my Cubs collection. And it's like, the journey has been more fun than the cards. And that didn't really come off the way it should have. I mean, I could elaborate. Don't get me wrong, I love the Cubs cards, but it is bittersweet that the journey is coming to an end. It culminates in 1 million cards, and then what? And that's like the second most common question I get asked. Well, when you hit 1 million, then what? Then I got to organize. Like, I'm not going to stop. It's not like I hit 1 million Cubs cards and it's like I put them in a closet and I never collect a Cubs card again. No. I will still fill in holes of cards I don't have. I will still buy and acquire new Cubs cards. I just won't be acquiring more 1988 Donruss. There was a thought that I had in my mind, and it's passed. It was a good thought too. I swear it was a great thought. Oh yeah, now I can circle back. So that's the second most. What's next? 2 million Cubs. No, huddle card. No, it's not. No, that's not what's next. Uh the most common question, and I got this a lot at Cubs convention this past weekend. They're like, usually the question, like if I'm a lot of times at a card show, people kind of know what the 1 million Cubs project is. When I take my sign to a game, which by the way, my sign fits in my luggage, so I will take it. I didn't take it to spring training. I had the first spring training I went to, I had a smaller sign, which traveled with me. Last year, I didn't want to. It's like I don't want to lug this sign to Arizona, but it actually fits in my luggage. I took it to Cubs convention in my luggage, so I didn't have to freaking wear it everywhere. So I digress. So when people at a game, spring training, Cubs game, the Cubs convention, when they see it, most people that go to Cubs convention are not card people. There's a few, but for the most part, not card people. So they see this and they're like, what's this? And I'm like, well, it's the 1 million Cubs project. I'm trying to collect 1 million Cubs, and this number is how many I currently have. And then they're like, you have that many Cubs cards? So the funny thing is, this happened multiple times over the weekend. And I'm like, so this is how many Cubs cards I have. And they're like, wow. They're like, and there's no duplicates. And I'm like, well, there are duplicates. And they're like, oh, like I'm cheating. I'm like, do you know how hard it is to get 993? And not just like, I could probably call up 3 or 4 dealers and say, hey, I want 100. How many Cubs cards do you have in your warehouse? I call Burbank. And how many Cubs commons do you have? And you could probably buy 1 million commons of Cubs if you call enough people. But that's not fun. Like I want the journey, and I don't want just 88 Donruss. I want the Ernie Banks rookie. I want the Seiya Suzuki Gilded. I want the old Judge from 1887 and the T202s and all that good stuff that comes with it. The colors and autographs. So it's not just 1,088 Donruss. So usually it depends on the setting. Sometimes I will explain, like if I'm in line, say I'm in an autograph line, and they're like, so what's this? Blah, blah, blah. We go through the spiel, and then they're disappointed because I count duplicates, and they're like, oh, well, you're cheating. I don't think anybody actually said that, but that their facial expressions, that's how I read their facial expression. And so if I'm in line, I have time. If we have time to continue the conversation, I will say there's only roughly 225,000 unique Cubs cards in existence, going all the way back to the 1878, I think, 1881. I can't remember the first. It's a Laurel art, I believe, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So there's only 225,000 uniques anyway. So it's actually impossible to collect 1 million unique Cubs cards unless you're in your basement creating custom cards, which, by the way, I do count custom cards. So technically, yeah, it's not impossible if you do count those. By the way, I did learn from Ian, he's like a Royals super collector, that Trading Card Database does in the Major League Baseball count, does count, Trading Card Database does count minor league cards. Because I'm like, well, I don't know how many like unique Cubs cards I have, because I do count minor league cards. And Ian and I had this conversation at the National, and he's like, well, Trading Card Database they all filter into the major league team. And I'm like, oh, well, that's a horse of another color. That makes things a lot easier. So it's funny that you count duplicates. But then you can also carry on the conversation. And if you're in the mood to carry on a conversation, sometimes I'm not. It's just like, yeah, sorry to disappoint you. But sometimes it'll be, you can open it up. Well, there's 225,000 unique cards. You can go, like I do count duplicates. One time I bought 1,200 1978 Topps Rick Russell cards. And so they're like, well, how does somebody have that many? And I'm like, well, it's like passed on. I bought them from a guy who bought them from a guy who may have bought them from a guy who who knows where I don't know. No, I didn't, the guy I bought them from didn't know. He's like, I just bought them from a guy. So, but it's fun. Do duplicates count? Of course they do. So speaking of Cubs cards, I did get some Cubs mail day. 3 added to the total. Oh, also, I did get a trade mail day. Somebody sent me some cards. And I've got I can't remember. John's in the house. American Airlines 326 checking in. I did update the Cubs count, but I didn't write it down. It's on my sign, so I'll have to. My sign's still in my car. I added about 200 cards over the weekend. My buddy Matt Wilson from Iowa gave me some Cubs cards. Do you know P Hitter 72, Pinch Hitter 72 on Twitter? He makes custom cards. Like he makes a card of Manny Trio, but he spells trio with 3 L's, and then there's 3 Manny Trio poses from his 1976 Topps card. He did a Glendon Rush card where it's Glendon with the band Rush. What else? So he plays on the names. Like if it was Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods would probably be a tiger in the woods. So he does those types of customs. So he gave me like 7 or 8 customs over the weekend at Cubs convention, which I love. P Hitter, yeah, which I love those. Love those customs. So I added roughly 200. What other cards did I get? My buddy Bill Watts, who runs Fly the W. It's like a wood sign company. He gave me some stuff that I didn't have. Some like 1998 the Vine Line set, including a Josh Lewin autograph card. Josh Lewin was in the set. A very young Josh Lewin at that time. Who else? Like, oh man, so many. Oh, Paul, my buddy Paul Z. He gives me this stack of cards, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I'm like, there's a ton, like Nick Jackson. Like I'm making a run on the Nick Jackson collection, who was a kind of a failed prospect for the Cubs in the late 90s, early 2000s. So added about 200. I've got to get that. And then I can add my 3 plus the box that I got in the mail. So these are the 3 that I got in the mail yesterday. There's a story behind Aramis Ottoman. This is a gold refractor, and I paid like $5 for this. First Bowman gold refractor. He's retired, and he was born in 98. So what's that make him? 26? He's 25. He won't turn 26 until September. He's 25. I noticed he wasn't at spring training last year. I looked him up, and he's on the voluntary retired list. I'm like, geez, he was like the number 1 Cubs prospect at one time. And then he retired. He had some injury issues, and I don't know, maybe that's why. But the reason I'm like now collecting Aramis Ottoman is because A, they're super cheap, but B, my buddy the Black Squirrel from Twitter wanted a bunch of like binders that I had, like baseball card binders and stuff like that. So like I have a whole bunch of binders. He's like, I'll give you some Cubs. I've got some like failed prospects. And there was a couple oranges. And I'm like, oh man, now I've got to like make the run. I bought a red refractor on eBay. So anything that I can find super cheap of Aramis, I will go out and buy. So the gold, I think I paid like $5 shipped for this. My Adon Sanchez collection continues to grow. This is the blue refractor, non-auto, numbered to 150. I think the only autographs I'm missing is the superfractor and like the red wave. Like I've pretty much got the rainbow of autographs. So this is the blue. I think I'm at 41 of the 55 on Adon Sanchez. Let me see. I haven't added these to TCDB yet. Let's type in Adon. I got to go check my eBay because I bought a bunch of them here recently. I was filling in holes because I didn't have like some of the cheap ones, like the sapphire and the blue. So this is number 40. I think, unless I haven't added a couple of the others. So at least 40 of the 55 Adon Sanchez. And then my third card, I myself was getting a little FOMO On National Treasures breaks, I was seeing all the cool cards that are in National Treasures. So I bought into a break. I think I paid $60 and I only got one card. It's cool. I wouldn't pay $60 for this card, but it's Greg Maddux, National Treasures, Retro Materials, 25 out of 25. I don't know what it kind of, it's got like the honeycomb. So I don't know what that's from, but it's 25 out of 25, Greg Maddux. But sometimes you win, sometimes you lose buying into breaks. I had fun. And did I make my money back? No, but it was fun nonetheless. By the way, if you're just joining, I do have to cut out at about 7:30 this morning. I've got to take Little Biscuit to the vet. And so I've got to cut out at about 7:30. So got about 12 minutes to get my thoughts out on Topps Series 1. The pre-sale was yesterday on the Topps website. Let's go to the chat first. Shane, good morning. Low Roller Scratcher, he laughs. Brian, good morning. Good morning, Huddle Card Collection. Terry McDaniel's in the house. Brian is here giving the best wishes to Biscuit. Pets insurance are expensive. Good morning, Todd. Hope Biscuit's appointment goes well. Thank you. Good morning, Flawed Thinker. Shane says, poor Biscuit. Hope everything goes well. Thank you. Mr. Archer says, good morning from a -3 East Tennessee. Still fucking cold. When it's this cold, you can drop the F-bomb as many times as you want. David's in the house. What's going on? Just George is here. Johnny M, what's up? Good morning. One car won't start. One has a dashboard lit up like a Christmas tree. Gonna be one of those days. Well, hopefully the day gets better from here. Mark Marinello, what's up? It's never too cold for ice cream. I learned that last night. That banana custard was delicious. Shane says, my van doesn't like the cold, makes the computers go whack. My PSI fluctuates between 1 to 5 PSI, so it warns me of low air all the time. Last winter was my back doors would slide open. That blows. On their own. It was dumb. I'm glad that hasn't happened yet. Huddle Card Collection has jokes. He says 2 million Cubs. Not going to happen. Mark says, all I know, it's less than a month until the two most beautiful words in the English language, pitchers and catchers. By the way, let's see if I can find it on Twitter. My buddy Rich Biesterfeld out in Arizona. He gets all the photos from the Arizona Fall League and spring training. And look at this, baby. Look at this. Let's bring up Rich's. We've got Cubs at the spring training complex in Arizona. The boys are back. They went straight from Cubs convention to Arizona. The boys are back in town. Cubs minor leaguers participating in a winter prospect camp. So we've got a couple draft picks, Carter Trice, Michael Carrico, and Matt Shaw, Brett Bateman. Let's see. Other Cubs, Christian Franklin, Owen Casey, BJ Murray, James Triantos, Hayden McGeary. So we've got some baseball players out in Arizona. I love it. It's less than 2 months away from my flight, March 12th. Can't wait. Spring training 2024. Mark says, do people really think there are 1 million different Cubs cards? Probably, especially non-collectors. I think a lot of non-collectors just assume there's, and I think what it is, most people don't realize what a million is. We had like million, what is 1 million, like when you were in grade school, and people forget. I think that's one of the lessons in grade school that people often forget, because the word million is thrown around like, oh, I probably have 1 million cards in my basement. And then I show them what 1 million cards looks like, and they're like, oh, we don't have 1 million cards. Like, I know. It's a lot of fucking cards. Like, my wife thought I had 1 million. When we first met, she thought I had 1 million cards, and I had like 20,000. 1 million? Yeah, I've got 1 million cards. We use that term so loosely, like, oh, I've got 1 million of those. No, you don't. It's a lot of damn cards. Some of you might. Joe Caprino, I'm in a ballpark chaser group, and people argue all the time as to what, quote, counts. It's your journey. You make the rules. That's my motto. It's my collection. I make the rules. And if you don't like it, I don't care. Well, you can't count customs. You can't count duplicates. Yes, I can. because it's my collection. And I don't care what you think. Another question I get is, well, how do you count them? Well, I'm not counting 993,000 every time I get cards in. I'm not counting them. I write the number down. I know where I'm at, and I got 3 cards in the mail. So I just add 3 to the total. I know how to count to 3. It's that easy. Now, when I get like 60,000 Cubs cards in one pickup, like I'm usually just estimating 60. I don't go through and count all 60,000. It's like, okay, there's this amount of 5-row boxes, 5,000-ish, So that's why it's not exact. But if anybody wants to, if the Guinness Book, and somebody says, I get this question also, are you in the Guinness Book of World Records? No, but I've tried twice. I've submitted an application twice, and they say it's too. I need to befriend somebody from the Guinness Book of World Records. Maybe LinkedIn is like a great place to network with people. Like if you want, like eBay, like just go to frickin' LinkedIn, and like that's how I got answers and like to the root of the problem in some cases. Go to LinkedIn. And that's great. So maybe that's what I'll do. I'll go to LinkedIn, try to find somebody and be like, okay, and explain it. Cause it's hard to explain it like on cause I'm sure they get applications, hundreds, dozens, hundreds, thousands, I don't know, a day. And it's like, okay, nope. And they just throw it aside. But if you build that connection, that human connection, maybe that'll help. Probably not, but hey, it's worth a shot. Big Scott, good morning. Donald Davis in the house. What's happening? Red light says hit that like button. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Did you order some 2024 tops? Yes, I did. So I did order 2024 tops from the Tops website yesterday. It was sold out like before you could find it on the website. So how did I don't have bots. I don't have any inside connections. How did I pre-order tops? How did I get in there? Easy. Pre-order window started at 11 o'clock Central yesterday. I go to the Tops website, 11 o'clock Central. I click, says coming soon. Okay. I go to buy the boxes. Sometimes they come up down. It's not like when you sort by newest. Sometimes it doesn't always come up, especially upon release. I'm scrolling down, still don't find it. Next thing I try, I look for last year's product or something similar to where I can type in and customize the search bar, because sometimes it's not live on the website, but the link is actually live. That's not working. Now I go to the blowout forums. And of course, the blowout detective agency, man, they're good. They can find those links. And once they buy their allotment, they'll post the link in the blowout forums. Boom, jumbo case link comes up. Boom, click, order. In fact, I'm lucky I got them because my address in Tops was still my old address. So I'm just about to click purchase, and I notice, oh shit, that's my old address. So now I have to go back into my account, change the address, go back in, still not working. It took me like 3 or 4 times. I realized in PayPal, for some reason, PayPal still has my old address. I thought I deleted it multiple times. I'm trying to. Like, please wipe this damn address off planet Earth for me. So it took me a few go rounds, and finally I was able to purchase it, order it successfully, got my points from Tops, and should have it hopefully a couple days before the actual release date. So if you didn't get in for 2024 Tops of the presale yesterday, don't worry, there's going to be plenty. Presale will go up on blowout cards. Blowout will get them to your door on release day, sometimes a day before, depending on where you live. If you live out west, it's probably going to be release day or the day after. If you live on the East Coast, it's probably going to be the day before release day. If you live in the Midwest, likely on release day itself, February 14th. If you did get in on the pre-order from Tops yesterday, You could get it as early as the Saturday before release day, which is what, February 10th or 11th. So that's why I wanted to get that case. It's going to be cheaper. Two reasons why I wanted to pre-order from the Topps website. It's going to be cheaper than what you're going to find on Blowout, Dave and Adams, Steel City, your local card shop. Second, you're probably going to get it a few days before actual release day. So those were the two reasons why I wanted to get that first on the market and a little cheaper. Good morning, Neil. What's going on? John says, never, I repeat, never parody the name of Rush. Troy's in the house. Good morning. D. Young Cards is here. I was reading one of your old blog posts of 10 Cubs cards you were looking for. Did you ever find any 1952 Globe Visalia Cubs card? That's cool. Thanks for going back and reading that. There is, in fact, I think it was where I discovered that set. A collector that actually sets up at the National. I've had a conversation with him about them. He's like the expert, and he hasn't found some of those. So I do not have any in my collection. I think those are was that my top 10 want list. Most of those items, because I think there were some season ticket books that I did end up buying. Most of those cards I have crossed off my list. The Globe Visalia Cubs, still looking. I think there's one other. Oh, I think the Javier Baez, the Aflac sheet that was $500 at the National in 2019. It's probably more just because of the appreciation, but the players in 2019 were like Francisco Lindor, Javier Baez were at the top of their market, Dylan Bundy. Now it's like, but it's also a rare product. The market's gone up since then. So haven't found that again. Donald says, that is why I don't do breaks. $60 of one card. It's certainly a gamble, but sometimes it's not. I'm not getting into breaks every day. I get into maybe 6 to 8 breaks a year. Usually it's Bowman, so I get more than one card. Usually it's Bowman draft, sometimes Elite Extra Edition, depending on the checklist for the Cubs. And it's only Cubs. I don't do random teams. I only do Cubs pick your team. Shane says that's an eBay 1 of 1. That's worth 5x the value. Stab Sports Cards. What's up? Fujitsu in trouble over in the UK. Eek. Interesting. Haven't heard anything about that. Peter, good morning. I've got to run here in a couple minutes, so I'm going to try to get through this chat, get on my way. Series 1 will be good the first week. After that, it will be everywhere. Absolutely. And that's why it's so important to get first on the market. If you wait 3-4 days after release, if you're reselling it dropped by a week later, it's going to be half of your return will be half. Oh, just a week later after release. Like if you make, say you spend $200 on a box and you rip and flip on release day, you might get $400, $500. A week later, it's probably going to be $200 to $250, maybe depending on, of course, hits depending on hits, but it's going to drop significantly after a week. James, what's up? Now I'm starting the 1 million Michael Jordan collection. The funny thing is, people, especially early on, people are like, oh, I'm going to collect 1 million Yankees, 1 million this. And they soon find out how difficult it is. Most people don't have 3 million cards in their basement. So most people don't have the inventory to trade, or it's expensive. I mean, the reason, basically the reason I started volume selling on eBay was to fund my shipping costs for trades, because I was spending, I think 2018 or 2019, I spent $10,000 on postage just for trades. 10 grand on postage for trades. I don't have $10,000 to piss away on postage for trades. So I had to recoup and I had to sell cards, my non-Cub stuff. So that was basically the genesis of going into card sales full time. Was I'd already had a head start trying to fund my postage. Fine production. Bo, I see your face about 25 times a day from the Car Dealer Pro 2.0 ads. but 2.0 is phenomenal and has massive improvements. Completely 100% agree. I absolutely love it. Flawed Thinker says, since I already made profit on the 48 boxing cards, I went ahead and listed the rest into a lot, put them up for auction, went up to $50 in the first day. That is a giant win. John says, 2 days until I report to Barrett Jackson in Scottsdale. Barrett Jackson, is that the auto auction? Dan, what's up? Good morning. All hope you have a great day. My new 8190 scanner comes this week. 8170, or is there a new scanner? 8190. Collector's Dream, good morning. I've got to wrap things up here. I'm going to get through the chat, and then I've got to go. John says, if Bo collected 1 million unique Cubs cards, then he'd actually have to be organized with the collection. That is very true. Royals, 417, what's up? Good morning. I must say that I haven't been more excited for a baseball season than this year, and I don't know why. I think I'm finally getting over the issues of the last 4 years. That's good. I'm excited for baseball season. I'm always excited for baseball season. Let's see. If you sit on the green monster, but not at a Red Sox game, does that count? James got 2 jumbo. Should be fun. Yeah, so I pre-ordered a case of jumbo. Wanted to go the jumbo route this year. Mr. Smith didn't pre-order any Series 1. I feel ordering 5-row boxes are the way to go instead. Corey Garcia, good morning. Dave's on the bus. You're on the bus. So your train was canceled again? Or did you just find a bus going home? So, by the way, Dave has been stuck in Chicago. His train was canceled on Sunday. His train was canceled on Monday. And his train was canceled on Tuesday. Now our buddy Dave is on a bus on his way home from Cubs convention on Wednesday morning. Dave liked Cubs convention so much that he stuck around for an extra 3 days. Dan says, it's been a good week to sell Jordan Love cards. I've moved some of my cheapy rookie cards of Jordan Love. Are the Dallas Cowboys the new Cubs? Might be. Dave says they gave us a bus instead of a train. Safe travels home. All right, 7:34. I've got to get rolling. Don't get FOMO over Flagship. There's going to be plenty to go around. They increase production every single year. You will get Top Series 1. You'll be able to pre-order it from various websites here probably in the next couple of weeks. Have a great day. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central, for a full show where we can talk the full hour and a half. I want to talk about what's better, cards or people? People or cards? What do we like better? Minneapolis Kid says, anyone see my message? I'm seeing this one. I did not see a previous message. Let me go back and see. This is the only message I saw from Minneapolis Kid. So for whatever reason, it might have been hidden. So like, subscribe. See you tomorrow.